What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Fresh Review. If you're new to the channel, what we do here is we review each and every WWE Premium Live event. Now, we're reviewing Not a Champion in this one. And before we talk about Not a Champion 2025, I want to give you guys a history of Not a Champion. There's also at one point called Clash of Champions, but correct me if I'm wrong. But Not a Champions, the whole entire purpose of it is every championship is on the line. Now, back in the day, WWE could do that because they didn't have as many titles as they had now. But now they added more women titles. They got even women mid card titles. They got multiple tag team titles. They got too many titles to have all of them on one PLE. But the whole premise of the PLE is that all the matches are championship matches. This card features 6 matches. Only 2 were championship matches. The main event and then the United States Championship match. That's it. That is awful for a PLE called Not a Champions. I don't know why they didn't just call this Crown Jewel or better yet King and Queen of the Ring like how they did last year. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and dive into this card. And it started off with Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, taking on the Viper Randy Orton. Now, these men had to qualify by winning, advancing in a tournament. And Randy Orton defeated Sami Zayn. Cody Rhodes defeated Jey Uso. So now we got this matchup of Cody versus Randy Orton, which I think is a matchup I've been it's kind of like teacher versus student. I've been very much excited for this matchup, but I didn't really like the build for it, right? Because I prefer this to be a long type feud. Maybe do like 3 matches or so. They just meet at the in a tournament here. Maybe they revisit this feud later on. I want one of these guys to be heel because what we have right here is a face versus face type match, which I don't think is awful. But what I did think is awful was this match was pretty much spoiled because go back to Backlash. What WWE said was it's gonna be the last time Orton and Cena face off, right? It's in St. Louis hometown. Randy Orton's hometown is St. Louis. So now that it's Orton and Cody in the finals here, it's kind of obvious that Cody will be the one winning. You don't really want to go do the Orton versus Cena one again. You could do Cody versus Cena again, right? It's a WrestleMania rematch. Do it at SummerSlam, and that's the stakes on the line here. The winner will go on to face John Cena at SummerSlam in the main event. You will have to assume of night 2. And like I said, I thought the match kind of got spoiled before it even began because I'm like, all right, they're not doing Randy versus Cena again. Granted, we have seen WWE do the once in a lifetime with Cena versus Rock and then run it back the next year, but I didn't think they were going to do that. But let's go ahead and dive into the match here. Now, Cody and Randy, they start off with some chain wrestling. Then Cody strikes Randy with the drop down uppercut, then lands a bulldog that gets a 2 count. Cody climbs the top rope, but Randy meets him there to deliver a superplex. Randy injures his back while doing the superplex, so Cody capitalizes with a disaster kick. That gets another 2 count. Cody begins to target Randy's lower back. Randy and Cody trade strikes, but Randy wins the advantage and delivers his patented backbreaker. Randy injures his back in the process. Cody wraps Randy around the ring post, got him bent like a pretzel. Cody then strikes with a missile dropkick from the top rope for a 2 count. Randy mounts his comeback offense. Randy goes for the vintage middle rope DDT, but Cody escapes and connects with a Cody cutter for a near fall. Cody connects with a super Cody cutter. This gets another near fall. Randy strikes with a middle rope DDT, and the voices start talking to him. Randy coils into position for the RKO, but Cody counters into a crossroads for a near fall. Randy strikes out of nowhere with an RKO. This gets a 2 count. Randy considers punting Cody's head off, but he hesitates. This allows Cody to evade the punt kick and lock in a figure 4 leg lock. Randy rolls over to reverse the pressure, and Cody reaches the ropes to force a break. Cody and Randy exchange strikes in the center of the ring. Cody goes for a disaster kick, but Randy catches him midair with an RKO. This gets a near fall. Now we got the actual finish. Randy leaves the ring to go get a steel chair. The referee sees the chair in Randy's hands, So the referee takes the chair from Randy. He hands it to somebody at ringside. While the referee's doing that, Randy removes the top turnbuckle in the corner. Orton tries to ram Cody's head into the exposed turnbuckle, but Cody blocks it. Cody tries to do the same to Randy, but Randy blocks it. Randy goes for an RKO, but Cody evades it and shoves Randy ribs first into the exposed turnbuckle. The referee sees this. I don't know if it's a DQ or not. It did get disqualified. Cody delivers the Crossroads for the victory, and that is the end of the match. We will get the rematch. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. The WrestleMania rematch will be the main event of SummerSlam, the first ever two-night SummerSlam pay-per-view. Crowd-wise, they sung Randy's theme song during his entrance. We got This Is Awesome chants. And I thought the crowd in Saudi Arabia was great and fully engaged throughout the entirety of this match. Commentary-wise, I don't have any great notes for this match, commentary-wise, and I did think the commentary was solid as well. Emotional investment, though, it's whatever. Like I said, I did think this is a little bit disappointing for the Cody and Randy match to finally happen. Actually, I prefer for the title to be on the line. They kind of hinted at this when Cody's title reign was going on. We were going to get Randy versus Cody for the title, perhaps, but we get it for the main event of the King of the Ring. Randy's the runner-up yet again. Overall, though, I thought this was a great match. 4.10 stars out of 5. Now we're going on to our next match, which is Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. Now, I can't remember exactly how this match came about. Maybe they did some shenanigans. I believe they did do some shenanigans, maybe in their Queen of the Ring matches that led up to this, where they cost each other their qualifying match for the Queen of the Ring. I think that's how this match came about. And this was a street fight between Rhea and Raquel. So there's no title on the line, anything here. But I think Rhea Ripley's the biggest star on the women's side of the roster. You got to have her on Saudi Arabia's card. You know, they're paying big money for the big stars. Now, this match starts off with Rhea and Raquel doing a collar and elbow tie-up. You don't normally see that in a street fight, but that's how they start the match off. Rhea tries to clothesline Raquel twice, but Raquel stands tall, then drops Rhea with a clothesline, so Raquel's being the powerhouse, just shrugging off those clotheslines from Rhea. Raquel lands 2 fallaway slams to Rhea. Rhea goes for a missile drop kick, but Raquel avoids it, so Rhea crashes and burns. Raquel rams Rhea in the corner, then begins to dominate her. Raquel ties Rhea in the ropes. Then Raquel assaults a helpless Rhea with a kendo stick. Raquel goes for a chair strike, but Rhea kicks the chair into Raquel's head. Rhea frees herself from the ropes, then Irish whips Raquel into the steel steps. Rhea tries to cannonball Raquel, but Raquel catches her and powerbombs Rhea through the table at ringside. Raquel bounces Rhea head first off the apron and off the announce table. Raquel tries to bash Rhea's head first onto the steel steps, but Rhea reverses and returns the favor. She bashes Raquel's head first off of the steel steps. Rhea takes off her belt. She is stripping in Saudi Arabia. She has to be very careful here. All jokes aside, though, takes off her belt and proceeds to discipline Raquel. Gave her 25 lashes like Dr. Umar caught her sleeping with the snow bunnies. Now, Rhea delivers the razor's edge to Raquel, then follows that up with a shining wizard. This gets a 2 count. Rhea locks in the prison lock, but Roxanne Perez intervenes to break up the submission. Now Rhea and Roxanne begin fighting at ringside. Rhea puts a trash can over Roxanne's head, then gives a shining wizard to Roxanne Perez. That takes her out. Raquel grabs Rhea and rams her into the ring post. Then Irish whips her into the steel steps, throws her back into the ring, and gets a 2 count. Now we have the actual finish. Raquel places a table at the top of the turnbuckle. Rhea sends Raquel head first off the table. Rhea and Raquel fight on top of the table that's placed on top of the turnbuckle. Rhea gives Raquel a super riptide from the top of the table for the 1, 2, 3. This is a very creative spot here. It was kind of dangerous and risky because both of them are fighting and trying to balance on top of this table here. You can see the referee was holding the table to make sure they don't tumble and fall. But very creative spot, super riptide for the finish, and I thought this was a really good match. Now, commentary wise, I don't have anything for the crowd here, but the crowd, like I said, I thought the crowd was solid. In the last match, I thought they were solid all the way throughout. They might have said we want tables at one point, but I don't have that in my notes here. Commentary wise, though, there are studs on that belt flying around the ringside area. And when I tell you Rhea beat the heck out of Raquel with the belt, she really did. And I feel like wrestlers always be like, yo, lay it on me. Lay it on me, right? Rhea did not hold back. She really did lay it on Raquel. And then Roxanne Perez belongs in the trash can. That's a great line there by Michael Cole when Rhea put the trash can over Roxanne Perez before giving her the Shining Wizard. So I thought this was a really good street fight match. And I'm going to give it a really good score, 3.95 stars out of 5. Now we're going on to our next match, and that is Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn. Now, Karrion Kross has been trying to get Sami Zayn to turn to the dark side. Karrion Kross, master manipulator, playing a lot of mind games and stuff on Sami Zayn. And this was a big match for Karrion Kross. I can't remember the last time he was on a PLE. It's definitely been a while, if he has ever been on one. So, big match here. Sami Zayn, though, in Saudi Arabia. That's like his adopted hometown. They love him over there, so it's going to be a tough win. And Karrion Kross wasn't able to get the job done in a match I'm going to go into right now I thought was mid. Now, let's recap the match. Sami clotheslines Karrion Kross outside of the ring. Kross Irish whips Sami towards the barricade, but Sami leaps onto the barricade and gives Kross a reverse DDT. I thought this was a cool spot, so I like how they started off the match. Kross delivers a Saito suplex. That's a back suplex high on the head and neck area. He gives that to Sami. Kross mauls Sami in the corner and in the center of the ring. Sami begins to fight back and delivers 20 punches in the corner. I really do hate when Sami does this. It's like when he gets on top, normally they do those slow, methodical, powerful punches. 1, 2, the crowd starts counting. Sami goes up there. He does like the first 5 or 6 normal, and then he just does a whole bunch of punches, a barrage of punches. I just think they look awful every time I see them. And that's like one of his signature moves. But Sami then leaps off the top rope to land a double axe handle. You don't normally see that move ever connect, but it's great to see it actually connect here. Normally they just go out there, have their hands up above their head, and get punched or kicked in the gut. And it's just an awful move, but it actually connects here. Kross delivers a Samoan drop to Sami, goes for a pin and gets a 2 count. Sami goes for the blue thunderbomb, but Kross counters for another Doomsday Saito suplex. Kross goes for the cross hammer, but Sami dodges and lands the blue thunderbomb for a near fall. Kross plays possum and strikes with a German suplex to Sami. Sami gives Kross an exploder suplex in the corner. Now we got the actual finish. Sami goes for the haluva kick, but Kross evades it and locks in a cross jacket sleeper. Sami raises his arm on the 3rd drop and crawls his way to the ropes. Kross runs corner to corner to deliver 2 clotheslines. Kross runs to the corner for the 3rd clothesline, but Sami follows him there to strike with a haluva kick for the 1, 2, 3. Now, the biggest problem I have with this match, and I gotta give it an awful score, is the inconsistency of WWE. So, if I'm not mistaken, Gunther, of course, they did the whole Gunther, you tapped out, you tapped out. So, Gunther has won 2 matches via sleeper since he tapped out at Mania. 1 on Pat McAfee, 2 on Jey Uso. Neither of those guys tapped out. They both passed out. When they passed out, if I'm not mistaken, the referee both times raised their arm once, dropped it, ringed the bell. Signal for the bell, hey, match is over. I don't know why, but for this match, it's a 3-drop rule. Where Sami, it doesn't drop, you let the arm drop once, you let it drop twice, and then you give him a 3rd drop. I'm cool with either way, but I need consistency from WWE. That's my biggest gripe, right? So my whole thing is, if it's a regular match, it should be 1 drop. If it is a championship match, it should be 3 drops. That's how I always felt about this, right? Because, the championship match, you know how they had championship rounds in boxing? The championship match should mean more. Like, you should have to actually beat him. Like, no doubt whatsoever. You sound trying to say no early stoppage. It's a championship match. Let's make sure the wrestler is actually out and unable to compete. That's how I look at it. I don't know what the thought process is for Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, to lose his championship to one drop, and for Sami Zayn to get 3 chances to fight out of it in a non-title match. I don't understand the logic. I never will. WWE needs to develop some consistency on that. For that, I gotta give this one a below average grade. I'm gonna give it like 2.20 stars out of 5. Really wasn't feeling this match, but we did get some single on during Sami's entrance from the crowd, and we also got some Sami Zayn chants. So they love Sami over there in Saudi Arabia. Commentary wise, I think Kross is a fry short of a Happy Meal. That was said by Michael Cole. Lips are going blue, body is going limp, lights are fading. That was said by Wade Barrett when the sleeper hold was applied. And then Sami was very truthful when he said he was going to beat Karrion Kross tonight. That was said by Michael Cole after the match. Now, like I said, below average match. And I'm kind of disappointed it's below average because this is, like I said, this is a big moment for Karrion Kross. I love the promo he did where, like, I'm unsure for the work or a shoot when he felt like he got snubbed off the WrestleMania card and all that. He's been gaining some great traction. I've been liking all his segment backstage. I want this match to be great. I know him and Sami Zayn are capable of putting on a really good to great match. This one just wasn't it, in my opinion. They will fight again at SummerSlam. We will have to see if that match can live up to it. But without further ado, let's go and dive into our next match, which is Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. And these two will also fight again at SummerSlam. So you're interested in seeing my SummerSlam review? Stay tuned for that. That probably will come out in like 2 to 3 weeks after SummerSlam. We're a little bit behind schedule, but we are catching up slowly but surely. Now, this match currently, Solo versus Jacob Fatu, was for the United States Championship. Jacob Fatu turned on Solo and officially became a good guy when he turned on Solo and said, "I hate you, Solo," at Money in the Bank. Now, Jacob Fatu's champion. Solo is coming for the title. And I've been liking the character work Solo been going on. And I've been liking Fatu as this dominant force. I think they both got bright futures in the WWE. Now, this match starts off with Solo attacking Fatu before the bell rings. Fatu, though, gains the advantage. He begins to maul Solo in the corner. Fatu goes for the running hip attack, but Solo rolls out of the ring to evade it. Fatu jumps off the steel steps for a flying clothesline on the Solo. Fatu goes for a full moonsault, but Solo rolls out of the ring again. Fatu goes for a suicide dive, but Solo catches him with a right hand. Solo gives Fatu a Uranagi on the apron and on the ground at ringside. Fatu fights back and goes for a running splash, but Solo evades, so Fatu head bounces off the ring post. This gives Solo the advantage. Solo delivers a running hip attack in the corner, then does the Fatu shimmy, the little shake Fatu does. Solo does it mockingly, of course. Solo locks in a sleeper hold while he trash talks Fatu. Solo lands a German suplex. Fatu lands face first and no-sells it. I thought this was very odd here because he landed face first. I like the German suplex counter when they land on their feet. I think that's fair. I'm not sure if Fatu could pull that one off, even though he's super athletic. Landing on his feet would be outlandish to see. But I've been cool with that. He landed right on his face and no-sold it. I was like, what is that? But then Fatu comes back with his German suplex of his own. He then climbs the top rope, delivers a swanton bomb, and this gets a near fall. Fatu climbs the top rope again. Then JC Mateo waddles down to the ring to distract the referee. Tangaloa makes his return and gives Fatu a top rope neck breaker. Yes, the infamous Tangaloa, the RTC, the Real Tribal Chief, has returned. Solo, after the top rope neck breaker, Solo goes for the cover. Fatu kicks out at 2.99. Now we have the actual finish. Fatu takes out everyone at ringside. He's going crazy. He does a wild corkscrew moonsault over the top rope onto JC Mateo and Tangaloa. He lands the full moonsault onto Solo, but there's more interference. This new guy choke slams Fatu onto the announce table. Fatu's thrown back into the ring, by this new guy. Solo turns Fatu inside out with a Samoan spike for the 1, 2, 3. Crowd wise, I don't have any notes here. And then commentary wise, I got some great lines for commentary, but they blundered this because I did not get the person's name that made the interference. So now, after weeks of the show, we know the person's name is Tala Tonga, right? But I did not know who this guy was. I remember all the other bloodline interferences when somebody returned or made their debut. Oh, it's so and so. Da da da. They at least announced the name. I don't know. Michael Cole and them didn't get the memo. They forgot to announce the name. I don't know what happened here. But I'm like, who is this guy? They didn't even give a name to the face. I don't know what's going on here. But here's some notes for the commentary. Here's the truth of this world. Some people are generals and some people are soldiers. Fatu may have thought he outgrew that soldier uniform, but Solo the general is going to show him. That was Wade Barrett. I thought that was a bar. Now, one man against an entire army, and the one man is winning. That was also Wade Barrett when Jacob Fatu was taking out everyone at ringside and going on a killing spree. Now, memorability, Fatu corkscrew moonsault was wild. I thought that was fantastic. And then Solo gets his first title win. So, this is Solo's moment. I hope he has a long, lengthy title reign. I think he definitely deserves it. Thought he should have even beat Roman to become the tribal chief. And then Roman, that loss could have humbled Roman and maybe made Roman become more of a face. Because now, like, Roman still is kind of a tweener. Like, we cheer, but Roman still hasn't apologized. Or it seemed like he grown too much mature-wise and stuff like that. But that's a different story. I think Solo should have become the real tribal chief. But him becoming the real U.S. champion, making his family proud with the gold around his waist, I think is solid. Overall, I thought it was a good match, though. 3.5 stars out of 5. And now we're going on to our next match, which was the Queen of the Ring. And that was Asuka taking on Jade. Similar to the men's King of the Ring. They had to win and advance in a series of matches through a tournament. Asuka was the finalist for Raw. Jade was the finalist for SmackDown. The winner of this match will go on to face the champion for their respective brands. So, Asuka versus Io or Jade versus Tiffany would be the current matchups. Now, again, big stakes for this match. Basically, elite number 1 contender match. And now we got the match starting off with Asuka trying to apply a Black Widow submission, but Jade drops her with a sidewalk slam. This gets a 1 count. Asuka gives Jade a dragon screw on the middle rope. Asuka begins to target Jade's leg. Asuka strikes with repeated kicks, then applies a knee bar on the Jade. Jade reverses into a deadlift wheelbarrow German suplex. Jade plants Asuka with a spine buster. Jade splashes Asuka in the corner and follows that up with a fallaway slam. Jade thrust kicks and choke slams Asuka for a 2 count. Jade goes for Jaded, but Asuka fights her way out. Asuka and Jade exchange strikes, and Asuka wins the advantage and begins to mount her comeback offense. Asuka lands a top rope missile dropkick for a 2 count. Jade powerbombs Asuka for a near fall. Asuka applies an armbar, but Jade escapes by rolling over for a pin to break the hold. Jade drops Asuka with a big boot. Jade goes for Jaded, but Asuka reverses into the Asuka lock. Jade escapes again by rolling through and going for a pinfall attempt. This forces Asuka to kick out and release the hold. Asuka goes for the Empress Impact, but Jade catches her and delivers Jaded for the victory. Now, I want to talk about Asuka here. I thought Asuka versus Io had been great. It's kind of disappointing to see Asuka return, not really go into anything, and now she's like in the tag team division with Karrion. So she's been gone for so long, she comes back and momentum's already gone. I thought she kind of should have won this tournament. I love that seeing Asuka versus Io. I think that would been a super great dynamic between Damage Control members going at it, because I think Io's title reign needed some more memorable matches, especially after how phenomenal she was at WrestleMania. And we will talk about Evolution in our next PLE review. So you guys want to hear me talk about that, be sure to subscribe. But Asuka, I think, probably needed this. But Jade gets it in a great moment for Jade. She's built up to be this next star. They got her from AEW to come out here and be this top star of the company. And I think they may do it. They may do it. It's going to be Jade versus Tiffany. And I'm looking at Tiffany's title reign. I think it's been a solid title run. She fought a lot of competitors and stuff. But it probably has ran its course. I'm not sure how many more people she could face on Friday Night SmackDown. So I could see Jade being the person to throw it Tiffany at SummerSlam. So that's going to be an interesting match. I will end up doing a SummerSlam prediction video. And actually, as I'm finishing recording this video, it's Friday. And SummerSlam's actually tomorrow. So I probably will do the SummerSlam prediction video. Drop that Saturday. I will probably send this video out on YouTube on Monday. I don't want to drop 2 videos at once. Not sure people will be watching them if I do that. So I'll try to space out my videos. So I think that's what we will end up doing. Now, if you guys want to go see my SummerSlam prediction video, be sure to go get that a peep. That should be up by now. Now, crowd-wise, I don't have anything noteworthy. Commentary-wise, I don't have anything noteworthy. Like I said, Jade will go get her first championship single match, and I think she could become champion. We're going to see how far that rocket takes Jade. Overall, though, I thought this was a slightly above average match. 2.90 stars out of 5. Wasn't really impressed with either of these ladies' performance here. Now we got the main event. That's CM Punk versus John Cena. And it's the opposite of the Money in the Bank match they had over a decade ago, where CM Punk was the person threatening to leave the company with the title. Now John Cena is the person threatening to leave the company with the title. And they did a CM Punk Dr. Thugonomics promo. They did a John Cena pipe bomb promo. They have been cooking with the build up to this feud. I have been loving it. And now these two legends, these two long-term rivals clash once more. And it starts with Punk and Cena exchanging in chain wrestling. John Cena suplexes and scoop slams Punk for a 1 count. Punk goes for the GTS, but Cena escapes and exits to ringside. Back in the ring, Punk applies a Black Widow submission, similar to AJ Lee, his wife. Cena counters into a side slam for a 2 count. Cena does his comeback offense at normal speed, thankfully, not that slow-paced shoulder tackle stuff. He begins his offense. He actually delivers the 5-knuckle shuffle. Cena goes for the AA. But but Punk escapes, and then Punk begins to mount his comeback offense. Punk delivers the top rope elbow drop. Punk goes for the GTS, but Cena catches the leg and applies the STF. Punk reverses into an anaconda vice. His patented submission. Cena rolls through to force a kickout. Cena lands the AA for a near fall. Cena goes for another AA, but Punk reverses and lands a DDT. Punk applies the STF to Cena, his own move. Cena crawls his way to the ropes. Punk strikes with the running knee in the corner, but Cena reverses the bulldog attempt into a back suplex. Cena goes for a 5-knuckle shuffle, but Punk kicks Cena as he leans in to do his mocking gesture. Punk goes for the GTS, but Cena reverses and delivers another AA for a near fall. Cena places Punk on the top rope and goes for a super AA, but Punk pushes him off. Punk leaps off for a crossbody, but Cena catches him and delivers a third AA for a near fall. Now, before I forget, let's go and talk about these AAs. It's 3 AAs already. CM Punk has kicked out of 3 of them. Now, CM Punk has been kicking out of finishers left and right all year long. The problem I have with this is I knew none of these AAs were going to end the match. Why? Because we have to see a GTS. So, my recommendation to Cena and Punk, if you're going to have all these false kickouts, for the false kickout to actually work, you have to have a kick out of a GTS, a kick out of an AA. And that way, alright, maybe I can actually believe the second AA or the third AA could win. I know you're not going to have Cena hit 3 AAs. We don't see a single GTS, and the match is going to end. So all these false finishes weren't really even that great to me, right? Now, there's a saying in the NBA where a series doesn't start until the road team wins the game, which I think is a dumb saying because there's been a best of 7 series where the home team won every game, and it's over 4-3. So did the series even start then? But nevertheless, main event match in WWE with CM Punk and John Cena doesn't start until until both of them kicked out of a finisher, right? So in this case, this match hasn't even started yet. So go ahead and continue on with the match though. Cena grabs the title and he thinks about using it, but decides not to. This allows Punk to capitalize and land the GTS for a near fall. Now the match has begun. Punk and Cena exchange strikes in the middle of the ring. Cena goes for his patented comeback offense, but Punk ducks and Cena shoulder tackles the referee out of the ring. Punk lands a GTS, but nobody's there to count the pin. Punk motions for a new referee to come through. But that's when Seth Rollins' music hits. He comes out here with a Money in the Bank briefcase. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed double chokeslam Punk through the announce table. Seth motions for a referee to come through, but Cena takes out the referee. Seth tries to hit Cena with the briefcase, but Cena dodges and takes out Seth with an AA. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed begin to jump John Cena. That's when Penta's music hits. Penta had problems with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. He begins to strut out to the ring as slow as molasses. Braun Breaker and Penta begin to brawl on the ramp. That's when Sami Zayn's music hits. Sami and Braun Breaker begin to start brawling on the ramp. Penta leaps off the ramp to take out both Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn at ringside. Reed tries to land a tsunami on Cena, but Punk pushes Reed off the top rope, sending him crashing and burning. Punk and Cena shake hands in the middle of the ring. Cena mean mugs the camera, just like how he did at Elimination Chamber. Cena goes for a low blow, but Punk was prepared. He did his homework. He catches Cena's leg and goes for a GTS. But Seth hits Punk with the briefcase. Seth hits Punk with a curb stomp. Cena tosses Seth out of the ring. The referee crawls back in, and Cena pins Punk for the 1, 2, 3. So, got a lot of interference in this match. A lot of interference. Crowd-wise, though, we got sing-along during Punk's entrance. We got CM Punk chants. We got John Cena sucks. We got those chants. We got Ole, 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 Ole chants for Sami Zayn making his return. And then, well, not return, but coming back out again. And then we got This Is Awesome chants. We got You Can't Wrestle and Yes He Can chants. Those were directed at John Cena. Commentary-wise, I don't have anything noteworthy. I think they did a good job explaining the history between CM Punk and John Cena, but I don't have any noticeable one-liners or notable one-liners here. But again, I thought this was truly a great match between Punk and Cena. Of course, not as good as their Money in the Bank one, but that's a different story. It's great to see John Cena and Punk have another amazing match. I might say, I'll say amazing. I'm just going to put it at truly great. So I'm going to give this match a 4.35 stars out of 5. And that will conclude my review for Night of Champions 2025. Like I said, big thing I had with this card was it's called Night of Champions, but not all titles are on the line, or not all matches are title matches. So it's kind of a bummer there. But this match I did think delivered and was the best match on the card here. So I give it that. At least Saudi Arabia gets another like C-tier show. I think the Saudi Arabia shows are kind of the worst ones. But I thought this one had a good main event though. I'd probably give it a C plus or B minus. Definitely wasn't the best PLE of the year. Probably wasn't the worst either. Now, that will conclude this video. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope to see you guys on the next one. It will either be, well, it probably will be WWE Evolution. That's the next PLE, and then we'll be doing our SummerSlam reviews. Football is right around the corner, so you're interested in any of my football content, or if you didn't know I make football content, we will be making a whole lot of those. I got a few videos I want to do about last season, and then we'll get right back in it. And then we want to get back to our regular scheduled program. So football, we might do football every Friday, or we might turn it to Sports Sunday, but wrestling will get back to Wednesdays when we catch all the way up. So as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.